Our next item then for information items is our preliminary plan. Trustees, this is our Project Grow Your Own plan. If you don't recall that title, one of our strategies we talked about earlier this year in order to improve diversity among our teacher workforce in particular was a strategy to grow our own. We've been doing a lot of things to try to reach out among college campuses and partnerships across the country, but we need to do more, and so we're looking forward to hearing this report this evening, Dr. Swift.
Thank you, Madam President and trustees. It was back on December 20th. There was quite a bit of snow outside, and it was right on the cusp of holiday break. And it was a really special night for me because the board agreed to have us move forward with a preliminary plan to grow our own. So I just want to reference this, trustees, within the context. Our HR team and all of our cabinet and district team are working along 3 critical areas to ensure a diverse workforce. Number 1, they are out recruiting and attending job fairs. And Ms. Langford has just been, trustees, if you've been reading your emails, you know she's been out on tours, and she'll share with you more about those. I'm delighted to hear from her that the candidates she's meeting, trustees, are more diverse this year than in years past. So that's a preliminary hallelujah moment. So we regularly work on that recruitment arm, and I've been very proud of the work of HR on that, and particularly this spring, Ms. Langford's been busy and doing excellent work with that. In fact, I can hardly find her because she's usually out somewhere recruiting. The second area we work on, trustees, is making sure that every hiring committee in the district is a diverse one, and I'm so proud that this habit and this practice is embedded in the DNA. I know that we are consistent on that, and I appreciate, and Ms. Carter often helps us by providing teachers that will help us on those hiring committees. Mr. Madison helps us with principals. So that second arm, just ensuring that we have a priority on a diverse teaching workforce, and we always have diverse hiring committees. The third area that we're proud to start with you this evening, since your direction on December 20th, Ms. Langford and I have been researching and talking to folks. She's met with folks at a university. I had the opportunity to meet with Dean Moji at the University of Michigan this past week to talk about our partnership in this area. We are coming back to you with a lot of exploration, but trustees, I just want to say right up front, this, as we agreed on December 20th, is a preliminary plan. So we're excited to share ideas, and really the focus of this evening, we're hoping, will be to create a vision. And we've been out researching other Grow Your Own. I said to Ms. Langford recently, I could hear Trustee Basquette because I know this sentence from her, and it's always a good reminder, don't reinvent the wheel. Go out and find successful programs and see what they're doing, find programs that haven't worked so well, learn from others before we start on the adventure. So you're going to see this presentation this evening. We are being mindful of our time, but I am so excited to come this evening and share with you. We're going to start with this idea of being an opener of doors for those that come after. And you'll hear a couple of the speakers referring to this idea. And I am so excited to build a community coalition around growing our own teachers from within Ann Arbor, from out of classrooms, just like these teachers are in. It's a very exciting day in the Ann Arbor Public Schools this evening as we begin to really discuss this possibility. So we'll be looking at what the program is, a definition. Ms. Langford will be highlighting what the benefits are. And then we've chosen 2 programs. And trustees, I can send you research. I can send you lots and lots of links if you'd like more, but we were being mindful of it being a study session and always wanting to finish a topic in a reasonable time. So we're bringing 2 programs for you to look at tonight, and then Ms. Langford and I have decided on some next steps that we thought were reasonable so that we could make a promise we could keep. So definitions. One direct quote that you will see this director shortly. Dr. Bianco is of the School of Education at the University of Colorado, Denver. She says the Pathways to Teaching program is a program that she started to encourage high school students to consider becoming teachers, and more specifically, to encourage students of color to become teachers. It is just such an exciting program. In that particular program, they are focusing on students who likely would not otherwise have gone to college. So they really have a great urban focus. The University of Colorado Denver is right in the center of Denver, and they're doing great work there. Dr. Peter Stiepelman, trustees, you've heard me speak of him. He's one of our colleagues. The Columbia Public Schools is one of our colleagues in the MSAN, Minority Student Achievement Network. And Dr. Stiepelman was also a colleague of mine in my recent superintendent cohort licensure program. And his is, the idea is one of establishing a pipeline of locally educated, highly effective, culturally competent teachers. Ms. Langford and I worked on the beginning of our definition. It has too many words, but it has 3 parts. The first part is that we're inspired to enhance interest in teaching as a career. And I know when I meet with Ms. Carter, with Fred, with George, we're all inspired to enhance interest in teaching as a career and leveraging the talent from among our current students who will pursue an education degree and return right here in Ann Arbor to make a difference for children. That is an inspiring challenge and goal, and that's the foundation of the preliminary ideas we're bringing to you tonight. The second area is to support and develop those students. So Mr. Paul DeAngelis had a preliminary conversation with Don Packard at Pioneer yesterday because we're really looking at some of the connections to the Trailblazer program and students who are regularly spending time in elementary school classrooms, and they already have an interest in children. So we really want to look at this idea of the organization on each of our high school campuses. When I talked to Trustee Manley, she very much was involved in the one at Huron and sponsored it, worked with those students for a long time. So we really would like the second leg to be to bring those programs back. The students will probably want a cooler name. In the old days, we called it FTA. I don't know what they might choose to call it now, but at any rate. The third area of our definition is about creating a community university coalition. And I said this to Ms. Langford recently, ensuring that we have a diverse workforce in Ann Arbor is not just HR's goal. It should be our community goal. And I know it is our community goal, but we want to leverage some folks into this work. And I'm delighted to share that all of the university folks we've engaged with so far, they want in this, they want in it early, they want to be a part of it. And so we're excited to start to put together likely another advisory group, but a coalition of leaders from the community who will help us to launch this vision. So Ms. Langford's going to take over here and talk to us about the benefits of a program.
Oops. Okay, good evening, everyone. All right. So just to talk a bit about the benefits of a Grow Your Own program, and again, through the research that Dr. Swift and I have done, through talking to universities and everyone who's already doing this, because again, why reinvent the wheel? Had to reiterate that. There are several benefits here for a Grow Your Own program. One, it allows the district to build a pipeline of future educators. And I think I spoke to that before. I know that the pipeline will take a while to push through if we start maybe at freshman year, or maybe we can start at junior year. We haven't really figured that all out, and I think the advisory group is going to be instrumental in helping us figure that out. But once we get that pipeline going, we have those students there, and they're constantly continuing to come through. It'll help us build stronger relationships between school districts and area colleges. As Dr. Swift has already stated, we've already started those conversations, so we're already halfway there. It allows the district to develop workforce programs to tap into diverse teaching talent. And what we're talking about there is really looking at courses that we can offer, looking at really highlighting the teacher profession and having students see that being a teacher really is a great thing to do and a great place to be. So we're looking at those. It'll promote and highlight a positive image of the education profession. I think I just said that. Builds a community coalition in support of developing quality teachers. So again, bringing in the community, making them be involved and allowing them to see their students then become our teachers. I mean, what greater way to engage the community. It enhances community and positive relationships. We'll look at how we could possibly maybe offer tuition scholarship assistance, which is something we'll need your help on, maybe later. And then provides early learning opportunities for school settings at all levels, pre through K-12. And there we're just looking at how we could start this program way back in kindergarten and maybe look at bringing, doing things for Career Day, allowing them to dress up as teachers or do mentor programs with teachers and different ideas we have. But again, I think the advisory committee will be instrumental in helping us figure that out.
So we were hoping now to introduce you to two sample programs. The first one was just introduced by Dr. Bianco at the University of Colorado, Denver. She started that program a few years ago, and it actually begins with students in high school, in the Denver public schools, and then transitions them to the University of Colorado, Denver. And I believe Ms. Halton is going to click here so that you can see just a little taste. I've spent hours on this website, and it is fascinating. So here is their page called Guiding Principles. Ms. Halton will scroll down. It's called Pathways to Teaching. And you can see their principles. They really do a very deep dive with family and community, with role models and mentors, with college knowledge, if you'll stay right there just for one more second, to make sure that students are prepared, are college ready. And they also promote the profession of teaching, just like Ms. Langford was pointing out. It is based in inclusion, and then also the critical pedagogy. The doorway they go in that is fascinating to me, to both of us, is this idea of social justice and engaging students in high school who want to make a difference in their world and having them see teaching as a pathway to truly flip the script and make a difference for a generation of kids. So now if we can go down just a little bit further, I'll give you a little more of a taste of it. If we had all night, these are great testimonials of students, and I can send you this link, trustees. And then down at the bottom, I get really excited about this one piece. There it is. Their scholarship fund. So every part of their program, they really are developing monies so that students are able to attend college at a reduced or full ride approach to college. Now, I don't know all of the details yet. We've just been doing our preliminary research, but that is a common trend across these examples, is a continuum from just inspiring students to want to teach and supporting them to get into college, all the way to I'm going to be your agent, so to speak. I'm going to get you ready for college. We're going to get you into college, and you'll see in the Columbia program coming up next, they even have a signing day, like athletes sign to go to college, and it's their future teachers. Also, I was interested because there are connections from Denver Public Schools website to this website, which is fascinating also, the connection there.
And if I could just add in the part about the agent, because I was all excited about that yesterday, and I think it's maybe coming up in our next video. But I'm a very visual learner, and so I just really got a visual perception of I'm an agent for someone. It was really like they were athletes. And so the agent would, put on their college gear or whatever it was. They had the signing day. It just made the program seem so much more exciting. Than just, we're growing our own or there, but just the amount of enthusiasm that's put into the program was really exciting. So I think that's one of our next videos.
It is. Ms. Helton, if you'll just go back up, I want to show trustees one more thing, and then we'll move on to the next piece, which is Columbia Public Schools. Right here in this area, that little book in the center, if you put your cursor, it'll light up. Trustees, I intended to bring you tonight some articles, and we just didn't get all of that printed in time. But if Ms. Helton clicks on that, you get into the scholarly research, which really stems issues of race, issues of, education, quality education, student achievement, performance. And if you scroll down there, there's just lots and lots of probably more than you want to study, but I just wanted you to see that school leaders across the country are facing this issue, and here is one example. And if you scroll down just a little bit farther, they can begin to see some of the topics of the research in terms of the overview. Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit. So let's then move to the second example, just a little taste of each of these, of Columbia Public Schools. They are now in, I want to say, year 2 of their official program. Like us, they took a year to launch. And this is their most recent TED Talk, and it highlights their students who are in college now.
In just a few months, my middle son, Ezra, is going to have his bar mitzvah. Now, bar mitzvahs in the Jewish faith is a pretty big deal because it's when a child becomes a man.
So that was program number 2. And so Ms. Langford and I have put together just a few steps that if the board is supportive this evening, we would move forward with. The first one is straightforward. We would be working to recruit campus sponsors at our high schools. Getting the right folks as the leaders of this at the campuses will be very important. And so we want to start working on developing that part at the campuses.
Our second step, number 2, is to engage with university partners. When we spoke a little bit, we've already had conversations with U of M. I've had conversations with Eastern, and currently Concordia University offers our staff 24% off their tuition anyway. So if we can get more programs like that from some of these other schools, that would be helpful as well. And then I just want to speak to Alabama A&M University a little bit. That was one of the colleges that I had the opportunity to go and recruit this year, along with Tamma LaBelle from AAEA. And we were actually very surprised at how many students that we saw were actually either from Michigan or willing to move back. I had some hesitation at visiting because I said, how am I going to get these people to move from a warm state to Michigan? But surprisingly, we had so many students walk up to us that said, I'm from Michigan, so I'm trying to get back home. We've already reached out to those students to let them know that we're now starting to post some of our positions, and we hope that we'll be able to grow that from there, and also reach out to some other HBCUs who will help support the program that we're trying to get going with the Grow Your Own process.
And then the third one we've already alluded to quite a bit, and you could hear it in Dr. Stiepelman's passionate thing about We Are One, is this idea of getting the right folks around a table and getting commitment to this goal of growing from within and serving our students while serving our own future in the district, to leverage the human talent that's already with us in our students and leverage them into a teaching career. I'm sure we've left a lot of folks off the list, but we got a good start on the list. And like we've said, we're so excited that everybody we've reached out to, they want in. So we're delighted to hear that. We thought we might begin with such a group to talk about vision, to get to some core values, foundational beliefs, clarifying the guidelines, thinking about budget implications and how we might start to pursue resources and prepare that way. Ms. Langford is going to speak to what might be a later phase, although she's also going to speak to some ways that she's already starting on this, and that is the other side of the coin of growing our own from among our current Ann Arbor Public Schools team, our support staff. So it could be anyone, it could be that office professional, it could be anyone that's already on our team, para-professionals, etc. So Ms. Langford, why don't you share just a little bit about this potential later phase?
So I think there's two parts to this phase. There would be the part of those individuals who may be already in a program and how we can support them, and I think this speaks a lot to that. And then there would also be those that maybe we survey and find out that they have an associate's degree, maybe they're interested in pursuing their education and being a teacher, and we just don't know it. So I think there's two different paths to go down. So I'm just kind of going to speak to the path of those who are currently in a program and how we could help them. So some of the ideas, as you see here, we could survey staff to find out those interested in or currently pursuing a degree in education. We would solicit feedback from administrators on viable candidates for the program. We would need to develop some type of application guidelines process to see, depending again on budget, how many people we could actually put into the program and kind of go from there. We're thinking about hosting job fairs internally to introduce the program. Selection process obviously has to be there, and then again, the budget and how we can decide on funding of those projects. And then again, provide training on the programs, align them with mentors, again, give them an agent, and allow someone to speak on their behalf to get them through this process along the way.
So an example that you're currently working on, and we won't say the school just because it's better that way, but just share that little story. It'll help the trustees to understand.
So, and I would say actually often staff reach out to us and sometimes have to maybe take a semester off or of work so that they can student teach or do things of that nature. And so we're always willing to look at those requests and hopefully fill them anytime we can. So we do have a staff member who this fall has requested to student teach here because she would like to be a teacher here. She's going to take some time off of her, and we've granted her a leave so that she can do that, and then she'll be able to student teach. But it would be nice if we could somehow make this work where she wouldn't have to be off work. Luckily, she's able to afford to do that, so that's a good thing. But we've already kind of started this process. It just needs to be a little bit more clear in how it works.
Ms. Langford, what would you add in terms of summary?
I would just like to add that I'm excited to get this program going. Watching these videos, doing some of the background work on what it would take to have the program really got me even just more excited about the program. I think it's something that we could do here and do well, and I just hope we have your support in doing that.
Thank you.
Really, this was brilliantly done, and it has been an interest of this board, and I'm surprised you didn't speak about this, Susan, but for a long time, we've been thinking about this, and we've made a lot of progress. But I think with the team we have now and the work you all are doing, we're really able to take it to the next level. And I personally have a lot more confidence in a grow your own strategy than, come from Florida to Michigan. And beyond that, there's other things that are challenging about that. But I think this is brilliant. There's a connection here. There's a foundation and family here often with this kind of a strategy, and it seems a lot more realistic and doable. So I'm very excited about it as well. All right. Thank you very much.